You can view those to help you decide if you want to delete them with this eyeball here. And you can also skip these by default, so that if you create a course and you name it whatever you're naming it, and you, once you make the edits to it, you might, like with a cohort this fall, use this course, but next spring, use it again, but you might need to put, unhide certain things that you skipped. So if I click on this skip by default option here for this lesson, properties of sets, that means every student that I enroll in this course is going to have that lesson skipped, right? So it's a skip by default across all enrollments. If I, again, next spring decide that the cohort coming in needs that properties of sets, all I need to do is come back in here to my course edit option and unskip this item. And now that roster of kids that I put in here for spring, they'll all come across this lesson because I decided that they need it. So that's the skip by default option, which is really nice because it means that when there is some skipping that needs to get done, you don't necessarily have to do it at the student level for multiple students, if that makes sense. So again, I mean, here I can move content. Remember, when a course is in this particular course is flex disabled, but when a course is in flex mode, we can move this content around, simply dragging and dropping it. So let's just say I move this quiz here, or sorry, this lesson structure application. So I move it down here below this quiz. The questions that are attached to this lesson came with my move of it to post quiz 2. So let me go back and state that differently. Any of the questions on this lesson that prior to this were housed on quiz 2 are now going to fall on quiz 3 down here. And so that's when flex is turned on. This particular copy that I did has flex turned off, but that's the flex assessment tool at its finest. It also says that, hey, if you delete this lesson called exponents of exponential expression, if you were to delete this, you get asked if you're sure you want to delete it, and you say yes, and boom, it's gone. That means all questions that were on this quiz number 3 that attached to that lesson went with it into the trash can. So you don't have to worry about the, hey, these questions are on the quiz, but we didn't talk about this. That invariably happens, those questions that come up like that. So you don't have to worry about that. We take those right out of the quiz for you. So you just simply go through here and decide whether this unit, set, structure, and function has all the components you want. If you've done what you like as far as deleting and viewing and skipping, then you could move on and just simply start touching on every subsequent unit doing the same thing, deciding whether you need to eliminate any content. But there may come a point where you need to add content. And so I say here, simply click on the plus sign, and doing so, you're saying, here, I want to open this course. I want to add something to it. Watch this. If I go into the unit 1, I want to add something to this course right here. And that's where you're saying, honestly, where open up the content so I can insert something. I'm going to go find what it is via your really cool search tools, but I want you to open up the content so I can hang a new lesson or quiz right in here. And so I clicked on the plus sign. Now I'm in the search tool. Search tool says you as a user can search by curriculum, by your custom activities list, by topic, or even by standard. Except Pennsylvania in my demo right now, but if I come up here and do New York B12 Common Core Learning, I can search by a standard in the ELA and math categories right here. So let's just search by topic and say, in the mathematics area, I want to search by topic. It's algebra, and it's the section. That's what I wanted. So I'm just to see how I'm navigating through the content with the black arrow. And now here's the properties of tonic section. So I can decide whether that's something I want to use. I can flag that item. and go back and get it later. I can even favorite the tab that I created. So note, I'm in mathematics, courses algebra, topic is conic sections. If I want to favorite that, sort of like bookmarking a URL, I just click this star right here, and now that is going to be housed in this favorites area. Watch right here. So here's a pathway called mathematics, algebra, and conic sections, which I saved. And that allows you going forward, if you find something, it took me a while to dig around and get it, make sure you favorite this pathway here, save the search path. It'll be housed where this black star is here upper right corner, and that allows you to not have to go through the digging that you may have had to the first time when you come back in. So let's go, here I want to do a little search for conic. Yeah. Search by topic as well. Applications of conic sections. So here's a nice lesson that I can preview. And if I decide that I want to preview, I can close it. And then I come back in here and simply click on it once to turn it to a darker blue. So I clicked on this lesson, and now I'm going to add it. So I want you to watch what happens when I click on the add selected item. It just came over here into my course, and it was dropped into my content right here, the little properties with steps where I asked it to be positioned. Remember, when Flex is enabled, which this particular demo course does not have, but when it is enabled, the questions for this lesson will now come with it, and it will fall on the quiz 1 here. So that's the subtraction and addition of content into courses. What part of this can I expand on for y'all? Again, I don't know exactly how much exposure you all had and how much hunting and pecking you've done within this functionality. What can I expand on for you?
We're here.
I was wondering how I would put a video of my own liking into something, or we're not there yet.
You're talking about teacher authored projects?
Yes.
Yep, so if you wanted to add, that's exactly right. That's the tier of this that I was going to go to. I just want to make sure we're all acceptable, at an acceptable point here to move into that as far as basic addition and deletion of content into a course in its draft version. Because remember, we're in draft version here still, right?
Right. Another question I had was mine says Flex disabled just like everybody else's, wherever it went. And here it is. How do you change it to Flex enabled? Can you?
So you would have to simple as publish it.
Oh, once I publish it, okay.
Yeah, you simply publish it and you have to copy it again. It's a great learning point here. In a sense, I'm glad that I didn't turn Flex on because that's an important thing that a lot of people don't know. When we publish this, so let's say you want to make it a credit recovery course, turn on credit recovery. So that button there to turn.
Right.
It's right now. If I want to turn it on, I've got to click on it. The presence of the word CRXable does not mean it's in credit recovery. That's a functionality that you need to turn on right here and right now. And if you don't, the same process I'm about to describe will have to happen, whereby you publish and then copy and make edits to when from that new copy that you made. So if I were to be content with all the content here in this course and publish it, I could go back and copy it to turn on the Flex option here.
Okay.
And the same is true of credit recovery. So if you don't set this right here, right now, then all is not lost. It just means you need to copy the course, rename it, and publish it in a credit recovery Flex enabled mode, and then enroll your students. The caveat there is that if students are underway in the content before you realize an issue exists, you'll need to either manually copy their grades over into that new course, right? The new one that you copy and then intend on enrolling them in. You need to bring their grades over and manually enter them if they've already started work in the course. So it's important to just make sure of these couple things, that the Flex says Flex enabled right here, and that if you want it in credit recovery, make sure you turn it on right here at this point. Again, all is not lost unless you got kids and a number of kids in there working away, and you have to come back and manually copy the grades. That can be a little heavy, so. That address, talk about the teacher author project. So once again, I can come into this your set structure. I think y'all know what a Moodle is just to add content.
Yes. Actually, I was thinking about changing the content, taking a video out that you had in and putting one in.
Yep. So how would I say that? Where, hey, I like your skeleton here, but I want to add something to it. So, where would I go right from this view that I have you on here? What am I going to click on to add something to this course?
With a plus.
Hey, right, could be this one, could be this one, just depends on where I want to put it. So, putting on a plus sign. I've run through that view I had before. I used search before, but here's custom. And so this says to me, hey teacher, you want to add a custom assignment? And I say, I most certainly do. And I get to choose what type of assignment I want that to be. So if I want it to be a lesson, a project, quiz, or test, I select accordingly from this drop down here. I name it accordingly. I'm going to call this lesson. And then I'm going to just create. And in a second, you'll see that we provide you with simple Web 2.0 tools that you can use to create this lesson. So here I've got everything that we're all used to from Word and Microsoft Works and all of our day-to-day programming that we use. Also have the ability to embed media content, Flash, and other media types right from here. So let's just say I want to embed a video from YouTube or some other video provider. I just simply click on and paste the embed code, which I can pull off the video right in there, and it will embed that video. Or I can just drop the link to the video right here and say to students, please watch this, right? So the link might be below this, and now we've got an add question. So take a look where I'm at here. Let's just assume that I've got my directions clearly stated for the students. I've got my video, whether it be a URL or an actual embedded video. And now I can start, if I come down here to the center of my frame, click on add question. I can add questions for this. And I get to choose right here what type of questions I'd like to use and how many of them I'd like. So let's just say I go to multiple choice and I want to do 5 of them. So I'm going to add them. And I can start typing in my questions right here. So question 1. Narrator. I can add another option if I want here. I can add the 4 multiple choice option. I still select the one that's correct. So I'm telling how to do here are 4. I want the students to get this correct when selecting the second one, George Washington. And then I just keep working through and doing the same thing for question number 2, question number 3, and then I simply hit save. And drop the that tells me, hey, you chose 4, but you didn't fill them out. So, I left 4 questions blank, right? So I can't publish this activity without answer the questions that I need. So, in any event, I would simply go down here and hit save, and it would save this activity for me in my custom field. Now, where do I get that? I go back to my search tool. I go in here and find my custom assignments right in here. View custom. So let's say this was named 1124 and I created it. All I do is click on it like I did with a lesson, turn it darker blue, and I select it, and you'll see here that that is added right under properties of steps as the lesson named 1124. So it makes sense?
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, you don't have like any, there's no like handouts that go along with this on the help section, is there?
Yeah, there's, I'll point you guys to the place where you can find tutorials on this and even some printables on course creation. So, so you guys can have that going from here. Rather than have you upload them, they're housed right in our site in the help section. Get them whenever you need them without having to print them. So.
I couldn't find them. Where are they?
Okay.
I just wanted to print them for everybody here.
So in the help section now, I browse resources.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's see here. Hang on, bear with me a second.
I'm sorry. I want to print them before everybody leaves so that we can use the ink here. Those are like video. Oh, here's that. Course customization quick start guide. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I found it. Sorry. I'll print it for everybody.
Yeah, that's all right. Customization tab here.
Yeah. 24 pages. I'm not going to know.
Yeah, so you can do the printable, right here, PDF versions are all right there for you.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's great. Thanks for your. All right, so we were in courses here, and we talked about adding copying courses, right? Copying, adding content, deleting content, and teacher authoring. What can I touch on in any of those 4 areas for you before we move on? All good?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know, obviously you guys know how to get in touch with me too, so if anything comes up after today, you'll know how to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. But so copying, adding, deleting, and teacher authoring. What else can I help you guys with today?
Is there something we need to make sure we don't miss if we want to make sure it's enrollable, the course? After you author your course and you publish it, is there another click that we have to do?
Yeah, good question here. Let me do another course creation here for us. And one second, my courses. So let's just go in here and find. This is the one, copy of algebra 2 SYR. If I want to come in here, like I logged out, I want to come in, edit that course. So I come in here and I can send 2 things. I can validate this first, which says, okay, obviously where I made some changes. Before I click publish, I just want to check this cursory check to make sure that everything's in the right order, in the right position. And I get flagged in this first lesson here where I was making some amendments. I get flagged with this red warning sign. And we're not going to publish whenever there's an error like this. So I'm going to view that error. It says to me by clicking on that red triangle, I see this pop up. This unit's missing content from the original unit. All original lessons and tests from the original unit are required for CRX mode. So I can come back in here and turn off credit recovery, right? Because I deleted, note that I'm getting flagged because I deleted lessons. And when I delete lessons, as I mentioned, the questions on subsequent assessments go away. In a credit recovery mode, you cannot delete and delete content because it will take questions off of summative and formative assessments that we need in place for CRX to work the right way. So if I take that credit recovery mode off right here, say, oh geez, well, I didn't want this to be credit recovery. Now I go to publish. It says, hey, Jeremy, this is going to promote the current draft version to the new version. You want to publish? Yes. And in a second, I'll get this view here where I can make this course enrollable. Here, again, not the best user experience, I know, but this button that indicates the word enrollable doesn't mean that it's enrollable. You need to turn that on, just like we did with credit recovery. And so I think that was Aaron that asked that question. That's where we turn this on, and then we're all set to go. If we go back to courses, our courses list here, and find copy of Algebra 2 SYR, so I'm going to do a search under my courses. Algebra 2 SYR, right here. Notice the check in this column here, this first to last column called enrollable. Notice the check is there. So that tells me I'm good to go. I can enroll students in this course. I might want to change the name from copy of, but I can do that via this pencil tool here. And I come in here and say, no, get rid of copy of. So hit the pencil, come into the field, check the name, and see how it's now Algebra 2 Syracuse in the course name field. That means I'm good to go. So if I go back into my courses tab and find my courses and Algebra 2 Syracuse, I'm good to go. The name is what I want it to be. The author is, of course, me. It's in its published version. It's national meaning no one else can make changes. I did not turn on other teachers can edit. So that's going to show as a single head and shoulders icon. It'll show as a group when multiple can change it. I know it's enrollable, and I can go and view it if I need to here. I can copy it, I can edit it, or I can even archive it via the filing box archive icon here.
Can we go back to the CRXable?
Yeah.
You said that if you delete any items from the course, that it's no longer CRXable. So if I have people making marking period recovery courses, then they're not actually CRXable. Is that correct? Then we have to leave that toggled off.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
Yes. The functionality. No. So we can do semester when we break those courses into semesters. We can do them as a credit recovery. In the version I was doing here, I deleted content and didn't. Just the positioning of things wasn't right because I was banging around and showing you guys several different things. So I brought content in from another course. I dropped a project in that reflected on the. So this was just a getting hands dirty type of demo. Again, break apart. So I apologize if I misled it. We've done that already, right? In district, it's broken
Right,
content.
that's why I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So they break it apart, and they maybe deleted a couple units or whatever because that's not part of that particular marking period, but you can still turn CRXable on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So what else can I answer for you here? Sounds good. Actually, right now, school static, so bear with me one second here. Yeah, so I just created a mock-up teacher role here, which I'll delete obviously, but see how this gives me the option to allow teachers to assign and unassigned courses to students. That's one of the options that would have to be turned on, and create and edit courses is the other. So if it's at the teacher level, meaning if you notice some teachers can do what you're asking and others can't, we just need to tweak their settings at their personal level to make sure that this is turned, either of these is turned on. Does that make sense?
Gene, that was for you.
Yes.
Okay. So if you gave me the name of the teacher that or multiple teachers that you want me to take a look at, I'd be happy to do that and just make sure that the Nami is okay with it. Once it's green light, that I can affect the changes for it.
Greg Lawson, Lawson. Sorry, I was playing with it too.
Yeah, he's creating that course is already lit up, so he should be able to build his own course.
Right.
That would be it.
He couldn't assign students to a course.
There it is. Assigned course, teachers unassigned and unassigned. So that's lit up.
I don't know if we want them doing that though.
Well, the thing is with the blended learning, though, they want to have the kids from one of their centers have access to it, so they want to throw kids to, that's what we're using for is blended learning. And so we want the teachers to be able to add kids to different things that they want them to do.
Have the teachers been fully trained?
They wanted to experiment with it and they wanted to look at it. And, well, they wanted to experiment and one of the first things they told me, because I see it from the administrative point of view, and one of the first things they told me was that they could not add kids to anything they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think that they can. Like, I had a couple of teachers in summer school last year that they knew they could. They just didn't want to. Like, I don't think teachers should be, but if you're using it for those purposes.
But I don't think they can. And I was just looking,
Like, Alex could. You know, I don't know why Alex would
I had to enroll the kids to him first. So like he created a course.
They do the teacher.
Yeah, so he created the course and then I uploaded those kids to that course for him and then he could go in and continually update and assign things.
but once you put a student in, you put the student.
I had to put the kids in initially, yes.
Right, and that's what I realized when I looked at it from his login. I can only put the kids in for my login.
Oh,
You couldn't.
Jeremy, doesn't he have to be a super teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why. He just says you have to change into a super teacher.
but I didn't think we wanted to do that.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
They could have authority.
Why wouldn't you want to do that, but you would want them to have the ability to enroll, I guess. It's different like at high school.
You can see all the students that aren't necessarily your students, so until they're good students, you can't see them.
So like special ed teachers that push in would be a super teacher, so they can see, so I can see the kids in Aaron's class and help them even though I'm a special ed.
Because this is just what I thought, when we were setting it up, people told me, in fact, actually, I think when he did the training, they said they didn't want too many super teachers, be very careful, and to only make us, basically,
But if you want them to do what you want them to do, they have to be a super teacher.
Yeah, in high school, we wouldn't want a lot of super teachers,
Right.
special ed, because
I don't
Quite a
you
few.
have a ton.
We have a ton of super teachers.
You have a ton. Every school is
They're doing
different.
credit recovery, and different people are.
They're using it in different
Room
ways.
at different times, so they can't.
Like, yeah,
Okay, so if I wanna do this with blended learning,
Blended learning is
I
gonna be
make them
different, so you
super
wanna
teachers.
talk to Manami about that. But like for like credit bearing courses, like I didn't feel comfortable. I enrolled like everybody at core credit first day of summer school, like all the library and stuff.
right,
And then beyond that, I called Manami because I don't want it on my name that the
Right.
vice principal's telling me to add kids to Regents craft classes, because I'm not against them.
and we're not doing this for credit, this is just one of the
So
semesters.
then in that's why I don't know why you wouldn't want a lot of super teachers, I guess is what I'm saying.
Because I don't, basically,
It's a while
something.
back.
Maybe though because of the high school issue.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it took a little while before we figured out what the difference between teacher and super teacher is, and then some of the functionality of super teacher you really have to have if you have, you know, in this
Right.
case, if the guy just wants to enroll them in certain units or whatever.
Yeah.
Or because a bunch of teachers are overseeing a bunch of students, and they all need the power to be able to look at those teachers, so.
Yeah, and I didn't mind doing it like for one or two teachers, but for
I'm gonna change it right
70 teachers.
I mean, he's like Alex, and he does it this year, but he's not a super teacher. But like, I enrolled like his kids to him one time, and now he can
Assign them
he
different
can
classes.
assign them different classes. Yes,
Because once I link a kid to a teacher, he can do anything he wants to those kids.
he can assign them anything that they. I mean, he's assigning them like he's creating his own materials for them to use. So I only had to help him once with that.
Right, got it. But I don't know if I want to do that for every teacher that's going to be doing blended learning, because that's a lot of teachers and that's kids.
Yeah. 15 times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right, that's what I'm talking about. But that's the learning.
I think that's the middle school completely.
A teacher, well, the
And
teacher
that's
wants to
covering it completely.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you, got it.
Good?
Yeah, I see what the problem was.
All right. We're okay.
Jean,
What else,
talk
guys?
to Manami about it after. About all your questions.
I'm gonna do that right now, so I have to take
It's so weird, isn't it?
Despite the fact that we have flowers and work, but.
Bless you.
Sure.
I had a guidance counselor ask me how to look,
Yep.
she wanted to have access to a student that took two classes over the summer. She gave me the name. She said the only way she could look at their work was to unarchive the student's classes. So that's what we ended up doing, unarchiving it to see how she did in the coursework.
What's your question? Yeah, that's what you
Is that the only way she has access to seeing is by archiving?
Is it the best route? Unarchive it?
at what somebody did over the summer. Somebody who completed a class, if you want to see their work, you would unarchive that student to view it. That's the best route, you think?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the school settings though, that tell me that, we're set at 300 days for a user grace period archive, which 300 days have to elapse before that user role is user records get archived. So someone has to manually archive, but in either case, yes, you're right. You have to manually unarchive. But let's be mindful too that enrollment grace period is set at the same 300 days, and the enrollments get archived after that grace period. So if 300 days had elapsed, we wouldn't even be able to see any of the work that the student affected. But if 300 days had not elapsed, we could manually unarchive his or her user records by unarchiving that enrollment. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how it got archived, but just know that is your way out. You're absolutely spot on with that.
Where are you, did you school?
No, they were here, they were in Nottingham over the summer, and she was,
regular, because we've had students that when they switch schools, their names get archived.
Yeah, and if they're in day school and get moved to Twilight, their full account gets archived.
Right, yeah.
oh, they might be in Twilight now.
Now, so that's probably something, that the, school number changes.
I do.
So when they do the upload, probably.
That's good to know. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
She's been answering herself.
Oh, okay. Manani's here.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
She did a little cave.
Yeah, I think it was
So, Jeremy, did you just finish the customization or the course creation?
We went through pretty much everything. We talked about copying courses, adding content, deleting content, and the use of the teacher authoring tool as well.
Okay.
So just making sure that any specific and more granular questions get answered, since I'm your captive audience right now. So your staff was just talking through some items there, and I was keeping my ear closely attuned to what they were saying. But yeah, we covered a couple of different things about course creation, teachers, creating enrollments, and the like. So
Great. Do you guys all feel pretty comfortable? Does it seem pretty straightforward? Do you feel like you could show other people how to do it? Pretty straightforward, right?
I think some of it, you don't know what the questions are until you try and do it. And
True.
oh, okay, I don't remember exactly what that was.
Right.
So my school teacher, two high school teachers are adamant, is it okay?
No.
It's supposed to be school teacher and TA over in the system is a teacher. It's okay, right? But the two high school teachers are adamant now.
What two high school teachers?
Under McCarthy
And McCarthy. Mike Netto.
and Cynthia Reed, two high school teachers.
I thought they were super teachers. Are they admin?
Yeah. Right, Chen back to super teacher?
I'm trying to think of why they would be admin. You know what? Leave them alone because they actually have been doing a really good job. I'm not worried right now.
So we did.
I know. Are you outside, Jeremy?
no, I don't know what that. I wish I were outside. It's raining and cold here, just like you guys. So no.
It sounds windy.
Yeah. pretty specific, so I don't know if that's, part of that shit, well, you know that obviously, Manani, but, I don't know if that's part of it or.
So what are you guys doing right now? You copying a class, okay.
I just printed out a quick start guide for everybody.
Okay. So my biggest concern with course creation and how many people are now able to create courses, my biggest concern is the naming conventions. One thing that I want to make sure is like courses that are created for the entire district, those are the only courses that could start with SCSD. Okay, so if you're creating it for your school or your team or whatever, I recommend starting it with your school's name. So if it's Grant, start it like Grant Science 8, you know. If it's specific to a teacher, still do like Grant, the teacher's name, and then the subject.
Yeah, so like customized courses, if I made a course, a guidance counselor could just enroll kids, even if the course is awful. And would not be credit bearing.
Counselors only enroll kids in courses that start with SCSD.
Okay.
Unless they work at Henniger, and then they just do whatever the heck they want. No,
It's true though.
They-
That's what I know, that's what I'm worried about, like, people creating courses.
I know, like, once someone completes an honesty aware class, they go to the guidance and they plop them in another one.
I know. But that's actually okay, because they're supposed to just do one at a time. And when they recover the credit, they're supposed to move on to the next
I
thing.
don't know if it's credit recovery, like we have a kid taking like engineering, but I don't know how many electives you can take in a high school career. Like it's mind boggling to me how many kids are getting dropped into Odyssey and pulled out of study halls and.
Well, if they're in study halls, they might as well be in Odyssey.
But we have one lab and they put like 40 kids in a lab with 20 something computers.
Oh.
And then they get sent up to the library and then yell at me because I'm telling them to do what they're supposed to be doing. It's just seems like a mess.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what the.
But the subjects that they're teaching aren't all SCSD.
So some of them are like, are they the Odyssey word for it? Like, give me an example.
That's through Twilight. Let me look up.
Well, we have students taking like art history.
Yes.
That's an elective, it's not SSCSD.
No, but that's like an Odyssey word course that we, yep. And there's another one like
Music appreciation.
personal finance or something.
Oh, yeah, there's
that kids can take for their third math credit.
Engineering and design. I have a student taking.
They can take that for tech credit.
Okay. But that doesn't have SCSD, that's why.
No, yeah. So let me clarify. The ones that start with SCSD are ones that our district created for the district. But there's also, so the counselors, I'll actually share it with you guys too. They have a list of courses that they could use. And then, yeah, I'll email it to you in a second. There's also other courses though that case by case, the principal will approve, or they email me and I ask somebody and like that. For the most part, they're enrolled in pretty much the same courses. Every now and then there'll be like a kid who is enrolled in third grade math, and we're like, I don't know why. But we usually say something about that.
Could they be doing it just not for credit, but because?
Sometimes they've done it for intervention, but this particular case I'm thinking of, they enrolled a kid in third grade math. For their third high school credit.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't fly.
I think the questions were more like district based.
Okay. No, that makes sense. It's kind of confusing. We're ironing it out a little bit more now that Tracy Jackson is here, the supervisor for counselors. That's very helpful because she can tell them she is awesome. And she's very good.
So now summer school is only going to be online.
High school summer school is only online with the exception of Regents Review.
So how are they gonna have enough computers? Is that why they're staggering times?
Yes, but there's still enough computers. The only school that's kind of on the edge is Henninger, but we think they'll be okay. If they use all the business labs, all the technology labs, the laptop cards, they should be okay. But we'll see.
Who's gonna be enrolling kids in courses this summer?
Counselors.
Librarians or counselors?
Counselors.
CRX.
Yeah, hopefully they do. And they'll get all refreshed again this year before summer school.
I was gonna ask if we could include them in the refresh.
Absolutely. They're all gonna have to come in. I'm gonna try to do 2 days, 1 day for the counselors and 1 day for the teachers.
That's a good idea. Last year was librarians, teachers, and counselors.
Right.
So it was like everybody had different questions.
Yeah.
And then like Corcoran, they created new accounts, but didn't enroll anybody, so Jeremy and I had to do that. It was. And then
People
everybody
don't
had two
listen.
accounts.
We get like, how many times did I say, don't create accounts?
So not only were there no enrollments, but there was.
There was
two-
duplicates. Yeah, it was a pain.
I run it,
They must have thought that was what was meant by enrollment.
Yeah, it was.
It's gonna be so much easier this year because you guys are familiar with it now. You know how to fix issues that come up. It makes a huge difference, and Brian he understands that having a librarian there is gonna make the difference.
Completion rates.
They earned like 560 something credits last year.
Wow.
I know.
So it was better than maybe those of us with boots on the ground. So,
So will our role mostly be to help like support what's going on with Odyssey? I mean, if teachers, because I mean, unless there's like some kind of project or something that they want us to help with, we're just kind of.
Yeah, for the most part, like what I'm anticipating is that the libraries are gonna be full with kids
Yeah.
doing stuff. There'll be a lot of troubleshooting too, just because there's always issues, and the counselors seem to forget how to do things. So there'll be a lot of that, and kids need help a lot when they're on Odyssey Work. Like they forget, they're like, oh, I don't know how to get to the next screen. Oh, okay, you know.
can you reset my quiz to 700?
Yeah.
Because
Just clicking. Yeah.
just clicking.
Just clicking.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm locked out. Well, really? Let me read the questions.
So there's also gonna be a lot fewer teachers than they normally hire for summer school, so it'll be I think people will be pretty busy, you know.
Are people gonna be trying like upset?
Probably, but we need to cut.
Maybe it'll be a little more competitive, because last year
Yeah.
they were like, some were like, would do anything that you
Right.
told them to do,
Right.
and others were so bitter about that beware component.
But like the union's okayed it, it's not, and the purpose is not to like not have teachers. The purpose is, in the past, historically, they've been hiring a whole bunch of teachers and earning no credits,
And paying them.
and we have no money.
Right.
So if this is all online for the summer, is it okay if kids decide to like meet, like if they showed up the first week and then like, I'm just gonna do this at home?
Yes.
Is that okay for them to do, or should they like still like, as long as they're like touching base with the teacher, maybe, I mean, I know they can message and stuff, but do we physically need to see them, like?
No, we probably want, as long as they're making adequate progress,
Yeah,
they don't have to come in.
okay,
Part of their thinking, some kids will work from home, but that's part of the teacher's job and you guys' job too. It's gonna be making sure that people are making adequate progress.
yeah,
Because some kids did that last year.
Yeah.
And like,
right,
they
yeah,
the teachers would come up and be like, can you, and that's when we would run reports. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, they actually did it. And
yeah.
like,
'Cause I
Yeah, as long
can
as
tell,
they're doing the work, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter where they're doing it.
Cause we had like a handful of kids that finished, I think, relatively early.
Right, then we don't want them to come back and
They
say,
wanted these kids to do
Right,
like,
that
let us
just
like help.
flew through the health stuff because they wanted to get done with it, and, you know, they were doing it at home when they left.
and once they get done, then they should be done.
Then they're good. Okay.
There's no seat time requirement.
Is it, are
Can you
all of the
imagine?
subjects being taught?
What's that?
Are all the subjects going to be taught?
All the subjects, like,
Yeah.
that a high school offers? No.
I mean, as far as like the regions go.
Oh, yeah.
All subjects.
Everything that there'll be a Regents exam given in August will be offered.
So they have, I'm just curious, because like last year they had phys ed for kids. Like, would kids still like physically be coming to school to take a phys ed class if they needed a credit, or would they be doing like a phys ed something online?
They're trying to figure out what to do, because still,
I was just
they
curious,
would,
because I know some
it's
kids
still
may
like
have-
an activity-based
Yeah. we had
credit,
a
so
lot
they
of-
really should be doing physical
We
activity.
had a lot of phys ed kids last year. I was just curious, like if we.
So technically, the only people who are allowed to take phys ed are people who are seniors, and that's the only thing they have to do to graduate, is get a phys ed credit.
Okay,
Or if they're upcoming seniors and they need 2 credits in
Okay.
phys ed because they played for the first 2 years of their life.
right.
So it's supposed to be your absolute last resort is doing phys ed online.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, they had phys ed in person last year.
Yes.
It was
That's what I
fun.
thought, yeah, there's a
There's
lot
a
of
ton of
kids,
kids.
and I was like,
I think that they still are gonna have phys ed in person.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd almost, it's one of those that like, you almost have to, because you need 4 credits.
You need 4
Yeah.
credits. No, you need 2 credits,
2 credits, but 4 years.
4 years.
Half credits, right?
But you also can't stop a kid from graduating if phys ed is the only thing they need.
If only
So it's
I
kind
had
of a
known
catch-22.
that when I was in high school. Oh my gosh.
It can't be the only thing that's stopping them.
Oh. The lies they told us. I know,
Well, it might be just a new interpretation of the wording.
right? It's true. Remember like the 55?
Yeah.
I thought I had to take like 12 regions and get 70s in all of them. Apparently that was my school's requirement. That's true.
I think so. So did you guys all do what he asked you to do? So they're all done, Jeremy. Jeremy?
No, I'm here. I was just muted, letting you guys chat away and listening in. So, excellent. Well, you all know how to get me, right? If you need anything going forward, just give me a shout. More than happy to help out as always. And I think you'll be all set. It's really, again, straight. As I said it, and I mean, you kind of echoed it, pretty straightforward. So.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much, Jeremy. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize for being a little bit sorry there. Thanks for being flexible. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep, bye.
In Office
Smart recording.
365.